Hey everyone, welcome to Get Loose, Geek Out. Don't forget to like and subscribe as we chew through our topic of the week every week, 3 days a week. So join me, James, Mike, and our good friend Allan as we chew through our chosen geeky topic of the week. Don't forget also to find our main podcast, and you can see where you can find it right here. Hello, welcome to episode 2 of our zombie rundown. This episode we're going to talk about the top 5 zombie films stroke TV shows. We'll score them as ever and try and get a definitive top 5, even though the last one was rubbish. But let's hope this time is different. So, Allan, what comes in at number 5 for you?
Yeah, number 5 for me, I've put Zombieland.
Yeah, not mad at that at all.
Yeah, it's a different take on the older zombie movie, all set in a fairground, and yeah, it's funny, it's gruesome. Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah.
The thing is with Zombieland is that if you took that humour out, it could just be a genuine zombie film, because they don't take the piss too much. They have fun with it, but they stick to the rules. In fact, the whole film is about his rules.
Yeah. I think we can include Zombieland 2 in this, because obviously it's the same franchise, and Zombieland 2, obviously it took 10 years for the second one to come out and to be made and stuff like that, and it so holds up. And
it's still awesome.
Yeah, and your cameos from Luke Wilson and Rosario Dawson and whatnot, absolutely amazing. Brilliant.
Yeah, agreed. Woody Harrelson is just fucking epic.
Yeah, he's a great actor in general.
Yeah,
absolutely. Cool. Mike, number 5.
Again, my number 5 is Zombieland.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't argue with a story that begins with this nerdy little guy who likes playing World of Warcraft in his apartment and then gets, attacked by the girl that knocks on his door after being attacked by a homeless guy who's in fact a zombie, and then turns on him. Just when he clonks her with that cistern lid, like I think you're being really mean now. This needs to stop.
Fair enough. My number 5 is Zombieland.
I wonder what's coming in at number 5 on this list.
Well, it might not be, to be fair.
This is the thing, it might not.
Yeah.
Because it only scores 3 points. And if, I've got something at number 2 that you two haven't got, that immediately gets it 4 points. So who knows? But yeah, Zombieland, I think we all agree, worthy on this list. Shall we move on to number 4, Allan?
Yeah, we shall. Okay. Some people might say this is quite low down on the list, but I've put at number 4 The Walking Dead.
It's quite low down.
Yeah, so I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with The Walking Dead. I've not finished it yet, which is probably one of the reasons why it's so down low on the list. Partly because I'm stuck in the middle of season 3 at the moment, and to me,
that's a terrible place to
be.
Yeah. I found that episode wise, like you'd get 1-2 good episodes, and then 3 or 4.
To be fair, season 3 is better than most of season 2.
Yeah. Well, I did struggle with season 2.
It's really slow.
I struggled with season 2. It was so slow paced. Everybody knew that Carol's daughter was in the fucking barn.
Yeah.
She was dead. We knew this. Series 2 was literally a great episode at the start, an awesome episode at the end, and a couple of good ones in the middle.
Yeah, it was more about just the descent of the group, really, wasn't it? And Shane's descent into what is essentially madness.
And he was always a dick.
His infatuation for Laurie. Yeah, but I just love John Bernthal. He's absolutely amazing in everything.
Great actor.
He's a good actor.
But I do feel we shouldn't go too far on this, because I'm guessing it will appear later on.
Maybe.
What's your number 4, Mike?
My number 4 is 28 Days Later. The British zombie film where the bloke wakes up after 28 days after being knocked down by a car as a bike courier. And really one of the first introductions of the speedy zombie that we discussed in the last show. Just amazing, like the depiction of the confusion for himself as a one man, having not bumped into anyone over the course of like a day, and wanders into the church, having it tends to be one of those safe places that people tend to go to during something like an apocalypse because of its heavy walls, its stone walls and its heavy doors. And then to find just a pile of zombies in there, absolutely amazing. It's a good film, and the things they have to endeavour as well, like the travel up to Manchester to find the army base and whatnot. Yeah, really good.
I think the most heartbreaking bit is where I can't remember the character's name. He just like looks up and gets that
drop of blood. Yeah, and then it just
oh, that's so harsh.
Yeah,
but brilliant writing, brilliant script.
Yeah, I think it was like one of the first sort of like depictions for me in like a zombie movie that I saw that this actually seems quite realistic. What's happening at the moment? It could actually happen.
Yeah, that was great. Number 4 for me is Dawn of the Dead, the remake with Ving Rhames, and I thought it was a good flick. And even though it was a remake, but they changed the zombies again. They could run and stuff like that. But the whole shopping mall concept, I liked. I think it's fairly accurate to what would happen. The bit for that gets me in that is that where he's talking to the guy Andy across in the gun store. Yeah, and they're going to rescue him. They're going to rescue him, and then he doesn't make it, and that's quite gut wrenching because you're quite invested in that character. So yeah, I thought recent zombie films, even though it's probably 15 years old now, good film, liked it. Alan, number 3.
My number 3 is the remake of Dawn of the Dead. I mean, to be honest, what you've just said is pretty much how I feel about it as well. I quite like the modern setting of it, and it feels like, again, this is something that potentially could happen. Yeah,
absolutely. Mike,
my number 3 is also the remake of the Dawn of the Dead. Yeah. Like you say, the investment with the gun store in it, but the thing that really got me with that film was when the pregnant woman got bit and she gave birth to I was so sad because you were like, oh, okay, maybe they can save the kid, but no, it comes out
the little baby's out there and it's like
yeah, and you're just like, oh my god, that when that happened, I was like, that's freaky as fuck. But
and even when you rewatch it and it's coming, it's like
yeah. But yeah, absolutely brilliant film, especially for a remake as well. I think it serves to stand in as well as like the depravities that humans will go to when they're faced with something like this, like the horrible things that we're capable of. And the same for the 28 Days Later as well, especially the army blokes. That was awful.
My number 3 is Resident Evil. Now, I do cheat a little bit because I'm counting this as the whole franchise of Resident Evil because there's like 8 films and some are good, better than others. But on the whole, I like what they did. But the first one's probably the best one, I would say, when they go down into the facility, possibly.
I don't know.
Because it's not too... It doesn't go too ridiculous.
No, I think number 2 was better than number 1 with the introduction of Nemesis. Obviously, his demise as well. But I can see where you're coming from. I didn't enjoy them really after number 3. I watched them all, obviously, but
the later ones are okay. It gets a bit wobbly in the middle.
yeah. It was the whole thing between, I think it's 3, Extinction, and the very last one they did, where they have, I can't remember his name, the doctor, the chief scientist from number 3 onwards. Like he appears in like every different one. Like he's almost like a clone, like Alice is. Sorry, spoiler alert. But it took a massive. What was I? Where the hell am I at with this? And then the very ending, like she's an old woman. Sorry, spoiler alert. And she's been a clone the whole time. You know, I don't know. I found it all very like, where am I going? Where is everything at?
Yeah, I think they tried to get a bit too clever with it.
Yeah.
At times, and they dug into the lore of the games and then dipped out of it, and
Yeah.
But yeah, as a franchise, I think it's worthy. I think there's some good stuff, and I think they're on about remaking it.
They are doing a TV adaptation for Netflix that comes out soon.
Yeah, so I think a TV show could work because it's not going to be like The Walking Dead. It's going to be a very different take. The Resident Evil world is very different to the Walking Dead world. So I think it could work, and I think it could benefit from that TV setting.
I think it will because
these days they use some of the limited series are used as very long films, which I can live with. You know, I don't mind that, and it's the evolution of television and film.
Yeah, I think a TV series will give it the opportunity to explore the creation of the T-virus in Raccoon City, as it were, as well as the Hive, a lot more than what it did in the films, where it was just she woke up in the shower and you got brief glimpses backwards. And then
they went back, didn't they? In the later films, they went back to it and
but I just think that they left out a lot in the films. Like you got the small link to the Lickers that have obviously created the Nemesis and all that stuff. You know, there's some really good creatures that come out of that game series.
Well, not just creatures, but stars as well wasn't really explored to its fullest potential.
No.
By a long shot. So yeah, I think there's more to come from that franchise. But yeah, I think the films, they're a decent watch. You know, they were never going to win any Oscars or get huge critical acclaim. But for an hour and a half of your life, sit and watch some blood and gore. Fair play.
Yeah.
Allan, number two.
We've already had it from Mike, I believe. 28 Days Later.
Yep.
First one of the early depictions, as Mike said, of running zombies. And great film. Really well shot. Interesting story. Felt like it could happen. So, I really like it.
Fair enough.
Cool.
Mike, 2.
My number 2 takes a bit of a silly turn, and it is Shaun of the Dead.
I discounted Shaun of the Dead because I count it as a comedy film rather than a zombie film. But I'm not mad at it at all.
I had to throw it in there because it's, it is what it is. It's a zombie film, technically. It's all about a harebrained scheme to be able to survive everything. And it's some of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost's best work, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I had to put it in there. And, the stars that you've got in that film, David Moran, Bill Nye, just Matt Lucas even makes a cameo appearance as the cousin at the back on his phone.
Brilliant doppelganger.
Yeah.
Gang.
Martin Freeman's in that film. It's absolutely amazing.
And is it Reece Shearsmith from League of Gentlemen? Yeah. He's in that group as well. I would love to have seen the flip side of that with the other group, like another movie done in the same time when they have that scene in there as well. That would have been immense.
Yeah. And the small cameo from Peter Serafinowicz. You know that he's a brilliant comedian, and you just don't get to see him in a
Leave him
role
alone!
like that. Pete, I brick. He's out.
But yeah, I'm with you. I didn't consider it for mine, but yeah, I'm not mad at it. Number 2 for me is Dawn of the Dead,
The original
Dawn of the Dead. Really, one of the first zombie films I ever watched, and really plays on the shuffly zombie, and it's weird because you spend most of the film with this cast of characters, and then they pretty much all die. And it just shows that, like Mike was saying earlier, or on the previous show, where one bite gets you. Like when they're moving the lorries and stuff around, and that dude's just got his leg across the seat of the lorry, and the zombie shuffles up and just like, and he's like, "Well, you're fucked, aren't you?" He took his eye off the ball for 30 seconds because he got a bit overconfident. And game over. So, Alan, your number 1 interests me because I've got an inkling what Mike's number 1 is. And obviously I know what mine is, but what I think that is has already appeared on your list. So what is your number 1?
Right. So it is Shaun of the Dead. And I thought it was going to be a controversial one because, like you said earlier, a lot of people may consider it, a comedy movie. And
no, I like I said, I do consider it a comedy movie, but I'm not mad at it because it's such a good movie.
Yeah, I think it's just a very good sort of mix of, your zombie movie and your comedy movie. I absolutely adore the scene where Simon Pegg and Nick Frost throw in the LPs. And then I go through like, no, not this one. Oh, what about Prince? Yeah, Prince. Yeah, fantastic.
Batman soundtrack.
Yeah,
yeah. For me, in that film, it's either when they're hitting the old man with the pool cues to Queen.
Yeah.
Or it's when she throws a dart in his head, and like he's just like
sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good sort of mix of like I said, funny and of a zombie movie.
Like I said, I think it does fall more comedy because we're just talking about really funny moments. Everyone we've spoken about is not a heartfelt moment.
Yeah, but the film does have that at the end.
Yeah.
So it's
like I was saying with Zombieland, you could take the comedy out of Zombieland and it would still work as a gritty zombie movie. I don't think you could do that with Shaun of the Dead.
No, you couldn't.
Not
until you get to the back end of it.
We'll argue with it appearing on the list, but again, I'm not mad at it. So tough. Mike.
My number 1, of course, is The Walking Dead.
As is mine. So we will discuss at length. I think the thing about Walking Dead is it explores more than anything else the thing that it's not really the dead that you need to fear, it's the living. It's what people, like you said earlier, what people are capable of faced with this adversity.
Yeah.
And it would 100% be like that in, places. People would do anything. Yeah,
I think for me, Negan's very much an anti-hero in it. Like, you want the best from him, and he is brilliant. And he makes an exceptional villain for that first season and a half that he's in. And then I think by the time you get to season 8, you're like, okay, can we just end this feud already? Because they're one and the same. Rick and Negan are basically the same. They just have different ways of going about it. But ultimately, sorry.
No, I know the spoilers already. It's fine.
I think it's like I was saying about Shaun of the Dead. It would have been interesting to see the side of the Doppelganger gang. It would be interesting to see a series where Negan is the protagonist, and you see what builds him up to that point. Because really, when you think about it, Rick's group attacked the Saviors because somebody else told them to. They said, "Oh, these guys are terrible," and they just went in, machetes fucking wheeling and guns blazing. So really, the Saviors were wronged, and then Negan, he killed off some beloved characters that we got, grown to love and be attached to. But from his point of view, he was just defending his own.
Yeah, well, I think we'll get a fair bit of where Negan got to and what he went through this next lot of episodes that are coming from The Walking Dead for season 10, part C, as they're calling it, because they have Negan's backstory with his wife, which has been cast with Hilary Burton Morgan, his actual wife. So that's going to be pretty cool to see. So yeah, that's going to be all. But for me, I think going through it, the biggest villain really is the governor. And I don't know if you're too familiar with his actual backstory coming out of the comics, but he isn't actually the person that he says he is. He's the brother-in-law of the person that he says he is. And in the series, he gives himself the fake name after he's obviously Woodbury's burnt to the ground and stuff like that. And there's a name just spray painted onto the side of a barn, like, "We're looking for you, Brian," I think it is. And he takes that name, but that in the comics, that's his actual name. Yeah,
no, I've not read the comics.
Yeah, it's a really good read. There's also more of a lure to Terminus, which is obviously only briefly allured. You only get a bit of that at the end of season 4, beginning of season 5.
I thought that was a big build for not a lot of payoff, really.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it was brutal and it was gory and it was fun to watch, but it
Alan,
was a lot of build up.
Look forward to Denise Crosby popping up.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be interesting.
Star Trek nature.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of people, they go on about The Walking Dead now because it's not about the zombies and stuff, but it never really was.
No.
It was about the people and their relationships and what it does to people. And you've only got to look at Carol's character arc.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a brilliant put together series. And I'm sad that it will be coming to an end.
Season 11.
Surely.
I think they're going to bring Rick Grimes back for it.
I think they will as well. And I think they should.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is talk of a spin-off for Carol and Daryl.
Yep. Let's face it, they're the two characters with the biggest character arcs through the whole thing, because obviously Daryl starts off in very cocky with his brother Merle and whatnot.
Eats girls.
Yeah, and his emotional journey through it all is really something, especially when Rick dies. And Alan sat here like, "Oh my god, everything's being ruined for me."
I'm just going la 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 la.
It's your own fault. It's 5 years since some of these events
happened. I know. I've got no excuse, but I do know a fair few of the spoilers, so it's no surprise a lot of what you're saying.
But
the thing is, it's that good. I don't think it'll ruin it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because the series is that good, and considering that apart from Andrew Lincoln, who'd done quite a lot of film and TV work, it was a relatively unknown cast, and Michael Rooker sort of underpinning series 1 and 2.
3.
Yeah, not so much. He was more flashbacky, wasn't he, in a lot of the series 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, not many well-known actors, and it's launched the careers of a lot of these people, and it's testament to the show. The look of it's incredible, just absolutely brilliant, and you can tell that there's people with a love of the genre there. Greg Nicotero, particularly, who does a lot of the makeup work and directs a few episodes. You can tell that he's invested in it. By what he comes up with, and just a brilliant show, and just I hope they end it well. I don't want it to be like Game of Thrones, where the ending was so weak that I almost disregard it from my memory.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is a shame.
unfortunate. I'm hoping it won't, because they're finally introducing the Commonwealth, so that's going to be interesting. And with the introduction of Robert Patrick, who we all know from Terminator 2, he launches his start into the series at the back end of February, so that's going to be good.
But yeah, all in all, like 10 years it's been running, which is testament to any show going for that long.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing show, and deservedly so high on the list. I would imagine it should just eke out at number 1.
It does.
So, Mike, what is the definitive top 5?
The definitive top 5. Here you go. So, at number 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5, we have 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
At no, sorry, that's wrong. At number 5, we have Dawn of the Dead, the original.
Yeah.
Then we have 28 Days Later. Then we have Dawn of the Dead, the remake. Then we have Shaun of the Dead at number 2. And then at number 1, The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I'm a bit mad that Zombieland got edged out.
Yeah, but and then if we're all going to put it at number 5, you know, it's only going to get 3 points. And
I know.
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead. To be fair, I would be happy with that list if Shaun of the Dead was swapped with Zombieland. But I again, we've had this discussion. I know why it's there, but I just think that Zombieland, you know, remove the comedy, it's still a zombie film. So, but yeah, I think Walking Dead is a worthy number 1.
Yes, absolutely.
And Allan, pull your finger out and get it watched.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it would have probably been higher up in my list if I'd watched more of it. But
I think it would have been, because you get that investment in a show. Obviously, like I say, me and Mike have been investing in it for years. Mike's read the comics, and you know, it's all that I watch all the companion shows and everything. It's very much been part of my life for a long time. A quarter of my life I've been watching some form of Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So, just goes to show. So that wraps up this particular episode. On the next episode, we talk about our plans for when the inevitable zombie apocalypse happens. Thank you very much. Join us then. Say cheerio, chaps.
Cheerio, chaps.
Ta-ta.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and find the main show, Get Loose, with Mike and myself, right here.